a good turnout today, and welcome to the House Hacker Mafia Real Estate Meetup. We do this 2 times every month on the 2nd and 4th Thursday. Same time, same place, so make sure you come and network with everyone here. And me and Ryan, wherever he is, Ryan, put on this meetup. We're with Renjoy Real Estate, and we are both real estate agents and investors. We do house hacking and short-term rentals, as well as some long-term rentals as well. So if you have any questions or want to learn more about it and purchase a property and get started in real estate investing, definitely let us know. Can you hear me over the music? Kind of. We'll get someone to turn it off. Ryan, you want to go and get them? So today, we have a special guest, Lexi Rzepiennik. Very hard to say, but she is an interior designer. So she'll be able to help you out with any of your needs that you need with that. She's designing one of my duplexes right now that's going to be a short-term rental. So we're going to pass it on over to her and give it up one more time for Lexi.
I forgot I have to hold this microphone. I'm a big hand talker, so bear with me here. All right, how are you guys? Good, thanks for showing up tonight. I've been pretty excited about doing this. I was supposed to do it in December, and then I got the stomach flu. So I'm really excited that you all are here tonight. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them while I'm going, or you can save them to the end. Doesn't matter either way.
Yeah, good to see you.
But as Tanner said, I am an interior designer. I specialize in short-term rentals. So how many of you own a short-term rental? Okay, good. That's probably about half of you guys in here, maybe more. How many of you have worked with a designer before? Okay, so maybe a third of what has a short-term rental. So, okay, raise your hand again if you worked with a designer. Okay, you. Is that okay if I call on you? Okay, great. How was your experience? Yeah? Was it for a short-term rental?
We had a good turnout.
Okay, great. Awesome. So does she do the full service? She does install and everything for you? Wonderful. And the shopping. Okay, yeah. See, I love the shopping. That's the best part. So yeah, you got to get a professional shopper, right? Awesome. All right. So tonight I'm just gonna be going over basically why I specialize in short-term rentals and what the difference is between a regular custom home and short-term rental. Why it's important to focus on certain things when you're working with Airbnbs and VRBOs. And why it's so important to have a really good design, because it's going to shoot up your rate and you're going to get a much bigger ROI. So, and everybody knows what ROI is, return on investment. I'm assuming so, since we're all real estate people. All right, so a little bit about me. I am a house hacker as well. My husband, Luke is somewhere in the building. And so this is him. He also partners with Renjoy. And then there's our little son, Lincoln. He's about 1.5. And he's adorable, wild, but adorable. So we started our, yeah, exactly. Takes after Luke, absolutely. So we started our house hacking journey in 2017. And basically we didn't even know that we were house hackers. It was just because we were too poor to afford our mortgage. And we rented out the basement to a random Craigslist-er. It ended up being the best roommate ever. He didn't use the kitchen. He took out our dogs. It was awesome. And then with that, I was just in nursing school at the time. Luke, he was in an entry-level job. So we didn't have a lot, but we were able to save because we got that roommate. And so in 2019, we were able to buy our first duplex. We were kind of following the steps of our friends who had bought their duplex in 2018 and Airbnb'd it. We saw their revenue and we're like, we want to get in on that. So bought the duplex, we moved into the basement. We called it the dungeon because it was literally just, it was its own unit, but it was very dark. There was no overhead lighting or anything like that. So definitely felt a little dungeony. And then we rented out the beautiful upstairs, 3-bed, 2-bath, amazing views of Pikes Peak. And it quickly became one of Colorado Springs' #1 Airbnbs, which was awesome. So after that, we have since then bought 2 more duplexes, house cottage, and partnered in on a 5-plex. So that's a total of 13 doors because we actually ended up selling our first house, the one that we bought in 2017 back in 2020. So that is a little bit about my house hacking journey. Design-wise, my first job was that first Airbnb that we moved into. Like I said, it turned into a top producing property pretty quickly, and our friends noticed that, and were like, okay, what did you do different? Well, I designed it. I designed it nicely, and I wanted it to be where guests really felt at home. So friends, other investors started asking me to design their property, and that's kind of how I got started. And yeah, I became a full-time designer just in 2022 after I gave birth to my son, so I could quit my nursing career, and it was a short nursing career. And now I have the flexibility of being home with my son as well as doing my passion. So yeah, a little bit about me. Okay, so gonna dive in here. Why does design matter? Well, like I said, as that one Airbnb became so popular, people started asking, what is the difference? Okay, it's those amenities, it's those accent walls, stuff like that that's going to make your property stand out. But I'll go through all of the things with you guys. Any questions so far? No? Okay. Everybody enjoying their beer? You know, it was our first Airbnb. We had no idea what we were doing. And so I think a big part was the views that it has. It's up on the west side, great views of the Pikes Peak. It's right by Garden of the Gods. That was really big. We have a hot tub. It is a shared hot tub there with the unit that is now below the one that we lived in, which was the dungeon. But now it's a nice place. And yeah, it's really, I think the views, the design, the hot tub, the amenities, that really sold it. And this was in 2020 when it got started. It was literally March 14th because my birthday is the 13th. We had a big party that night upstairs. And March 14th, 2020, right when COVID hit. And so we still became top Airbnb. Yeah, really, really great. So any other questions? Yeah.
I understand that Colorado Springs has issues when it comes to Airbnbs.
Sure, absolutely. I think I'll save that question for the end, and I'll have either Luke or Michael answer that for you. Because I just do the design. I just do the fun part. All right. All right, let's see. So number one, first impressions matter. Why do they matter? Because you want to get booked, right? So if you're scrolling through Airbnb or VRBO, you want somebody to stop and be like, okay, that's something different that I haven't seen before. That's unique. I've never been to a place that had a climbing wall in a bedroom. I've never seen anything like that before, okay? So you want them to stop, and then when they click on it, they're hooked, right? You want those first 5 photos to be just like that first impression photo. It's not just about one room. It's not just about one photo. It could be about 5 rooms, or it could be about one at your backyard. But you need to have a full hook because you want to have a higher nightly rate, which makes a higher ROI, right? So getting them hooked, getting them to book is what's going to create that and make them say, hey, I'm going to spend $300 a night at your place instead of $100 a night down at Grandma's cottage down there, okay? So getting that visual appeal is really important. And it's getting that guest excited to stay with you. People want to be talking about their vacation before they even arrive and talking about it after they go home. They're going to be creating those lasting memories and bringing their friends and family back. All right. Hi, welcome. Come on in. Also, all these photos are places I have designed as well. So if you have any questions about the place or anything like that, just let me know. Usually Fed Photography does it. They do a great job. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, FED. They do a good job. And they're pretty reasonably priced as well. So, all right, so enhancing your space. So I was talking about how short-term rentals have a different kind of design. It needs to be comfortable, it needs to be durable, and it needs to be functional. So a lot of times with your own home, you want to make it comfortable, right? A lot of people want their places comfortable. They don't want to feel like they're in a sterile environment. So like metal chairs, plastic stuff everywhere. You don't want to, that doesn't feel like home, doesn't feel warm. So make sure when you are designing places like this that it's comfortable. However, you want to make sure that it is durable. You don't want it to last only 6 months, and then you replace it. Like, that's not, then your ROA is going down again, right? So make sure it's durable. Say I'm sitting at a dining table drinking a nice like red glass of wine, and all of a sudden my son just throws like a ball at me and it's all over the chair. Well, is that chair stain resistant? Is it leather? Like, is it going to be easy for the cleaners to get out? That is something that you have to think about when you're designing an Airbnb. So comfortable, durable, also functional. Think about how many people that you guys are going to be sleeping, okay? Is it 8 people for 3 bedrooms, or is it 6 people for 3 bedrooms? You want to think about how many people are going to be comfortable staying in your place. Don't throw in 15 sets of bunk beds, because then there's no room for luggage, right? You got to think about the luggage. You have to think about everybody sitting at the table doing game nights. Say it's snowing outside. We are in Colorado Springs. Stuff like that. Make sure that it's functional for your guests, because that's how you're going to get the good reviews. Yeah. Pet friendly? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You got. We have I think the only listing that is, yeah, Lion Lodge. It's ADA approved.
Not ADA, Airbnb, handicap accessible.
Wheelchair accessible approved. I have partnered on a project to do that. Yes, and that's the only one in Colorado Springs. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, any questions about why this is kind of important or anything? Okay. So coming back to that, creating a memorable experience. You want these people, everybody's looking for the Instagrammable stay, right? You want to have the accent walls. You want to have a place to go with your friends, if it's a bachelorette party or if it's just your friends and family, to take that selfie and show it off on Instagram. Take it to your friends and family, say, hey, we got to go back here. This is huge for Airbnb and VRBO stays. It's going to increase your nightly rates and your occupancy so quick. So this is a house that we did in Florida last year, and we did this big mural all across the wall, and it's awesome. So if you know a local artist that can do it, if you can do it yourself, definitely highly recommend doing something like that.
You're not just working in Colorado?
No.
Oh,
Yes. Yes. I normally only install in Colorado, but I do virtual design as well.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll get into that later. Yeah. So like I said, accent walls, amenities, murals. So like we talked about, we'll talk about it again in the next slide, but murals, amenities such as pools, hot tubs, game rooms, stuff like that, really big to have on those first 5 photos. Yeah. You absolutely can. I have not. Usually property management does that kind of stuff. But yeah, you can absolutely add that in. Yeah, yeah. Especially like cool, there's a lot of cool tables that like have the pet cage underneath, like stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, yep. Make sure it's good. Right. All right, so yeah, any questions about making it memorable, how to do it, why to do it? Okay. Yes. Yeah. Anything that makes your listing pop, you should do. Absolutely. No, that's great. That's why I'm here. I'm here to help answer all those questions and stuff. Yeah.
Do you think that things like that wallpaper and that do you think it's specific to Airbnb design versus like your star home that you're gonna be living in?
I've thought about this a lot because I want to design my own home because it's definitely not designed. And I think it just depends on your own style. Like I really like the shade of blue that I really want to do my master bedroom in. Would I do an Airbnb with it? Maybe not, because it's a little calmer than I would do in an Airbnb. It wouldn't pop as much. But yeah, it really just depends on your sense of style. Wallpaper I would do in my house though. Love wallpaper. All right, so let's talk about amenities, why they boost your ROI so much. If you saw this giant fire pit, and you were going on a big family trip with 15 people, would you want to stay there? Right?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, that's right. If you saw, a putt-putt golf course and you're going with, your nieces and nephews or your kids and they're all 10, 11, 12, would you go there? Probably. Maybe, unless they're going to throw the balls at you like my son does. But, game rooms, big, nice roof terraces with hot tubs and fire pits, all that stuff is really going to make your listing pop. So coming up with something unique, think about when you guys travel, if you ever travel to like Mexico or Tulum, they have these nets everywhere, something like that. People are going to be like, oh my gosh, I want to go there. It's unique, it's different. People are going to stop, stare, want to bring their friends, and come back again. So game rooms, hot tubs, pools, fire pits, rooftop terrace, home theaters, Blackstone grills. Could be as easy as a Blackstone grill, putting that out. Saunas, cold plunges, gyms, putt-putt golf, gaming systems, you name it. We've done it, and they all just boost your ROI. So does anybody have an Airbnb that has a different kind of amenity than any of these that I already mentioned?
420 friendly.
420 friendly, definitely. That's great in Colorado. Anything else that you guys could think of? All right. Yeah. Yeah, like you had mentioned, yeah, that's definitely amenity. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Can I ask you a question about amenities?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have is there the top 5 amenities that you would always add to something that you track it okay, if we do a hot tub plus this, we've seen a 20% increase in ROI or something like that?
Yeah, hot tubs are number one deal breaker. We always add a hot tub. It's incredible. I was just talking to my friends and I thought they had a hot tub at one of their places and they were kind of complaining about their rates, especially this month. And I was like, well, it's January. And they're like, yeah, well, we never put a hot tub in. I was like, what? You never put a hot tub in? Well, you got to do that. That's going to boost. It's incredible. It's $50 a night. It's really boosts your ROI, definitely by 20%. I think fire pits help, and they're a really cheap way to do it. Game rooms are really big. I just did one up in Divide, and they had a lot of good stuff, but they didn't really have the game room aspect, and something that stops them with the accent wall too, so it brings that pop. They had an $8,000 month last month, so for December it's pretty dang good. Yeah. So yeah, game rooms are really great. But all right. Any questions about amenities? Okay. Yes, sir. No, what I do for my pricing is I charge per room for designer pricing, and then obviously whatever the furnishings cost is gonna add on to your investment. So, all right. So maximizing storage. Oh yes, go ahead. It depends on how big your property is. So if you're sleeping 15 people, I would definitely recommend an extra washer dryer, more for the cleaners because things are going to take a long time, and you want that to be a quick clean. Kitchenette, not necessarily, unless you're going to be doing 2 units. If it's 2 units, absolutely add a kitchenette. But if not, then you don't necessarily need it. You can always add a mini fridge and something like that, but don't necessarily need a kitchenette. Yeah. All right. So maximizing space and storage. Again, back to having it as an Airbnb. You have to have storage. I did a unit last week. There was 0 closets in that Airbnb. 2 bed. Gonna sleep 6 guests. I'm like, where are these people gonna put linens? Where are they gonna put their luggage? So you have to account for this kind of stuff, right? So always think of that. How many people are gonna sleep? Is there space for remote workers? Have a desk. People love having this. You can check that off on Airbnb and it boosts up your listing. And then a docking station's awesome. I think a lot of people just need a docking station. Yeah, that's a great question. Amenity, so that's an amenity that you can have. Cleaners closets and guest closets. Like I said, this last unit that I did last week, no closet, so I had to figure out where the cleaners could put their stuff. So I had to get special cabinets that had special handles where the cleaners could lock it without busting up the owner's furniture. Stuff like that you have to think about. And then obviously a storage space for your tech, like your Wi-Fi monitors, your camera hubs, stuff like that. Yes?
So I bought the existing Airbnb.
Yeah.
I have 2 bedrooms and 1 loft.
Okay.
So they don't have any extra closet. I only have 2 closets.
That's better than 0.
But I need one for the cleaners.
Sure.
I need something to install the extra supplies.
Yeah.
Should I put a 1 closet, change it to the pocket, or?
Yes. I mean, I would have something for the cleaner, so I wouldn't necessarily put it in a closet unless you want to and you want to do the renovation, but you can absolutely get like a closet cabinet and have that mounted to the wall, like a wardrobe or something like that, but something that looks nice. And then have that where it has the handles that loop-de-loop around it so they don't have to drill into it, where you can lock it. If that makes sense.
It has the swinging closet doors right now,
Yeah.
right? So it's hard to put a lock on there.
Yeah.
We're looking at it as a lock.
It's, I know, unless you drill into it, it's like,
Even drilling into it, like
it can still come out.
swings. So
Yeah.
it's like you
Oh.
put a lock in there and it has a hole that goes in.
And then it
But
just
someone could just push the
unbolts
door
it.
back
Yeah.
and then just,
Yeah, I would highly recommend getting like a wardrobe or something for you guys to use for the cleaners, because it definitely makes a difference for them.
so it's standalone, that could be somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Somewhere that it's not going to be. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. But using that storage and stuff too, it's going to make your whole place feel a lot cleaner, a lot less cluttered, and your guest is ultimately going to like it a lot better and say it's 5-star clean. Okay. All right. Incorporate local culture and style. This is a caboose that I did last year. It's actually here in Colorado Springs. Pretty cool, 1920s. So when you are working on a certain place, like say we're working at a place in Colorado Springs, make sure not to do like a tropical theme, because we're here. People are not traveling here for the beach. They're traveling here to see the mountains, red rocks, all that stuff. So pay attention to that. Get local artists. You get local like muralists to help out with you. You can go downtown, get some great artwork down there. Put that into your Airbnb. Even Etsy, honestly, has some really great photos of Colorado Springs that you could print out, and then I just print them out down at Office Depot and frame them. Looks great.
When is too much, and I've been to some Airbnbs.
Yeah, I love that question. Yes, do not do it wrong. Do it well. Do not go to American Furniture Warehouse and get all of those canvas prints of Garden of the Gods and Seven Falls and all that stuff. Do not do that. The amount of refreshes that I have done taking those things out, because they're not cheap either. I think they're like $80. I've thrown away so many of those. They're the worst. Don't do that. So don't make it tacky. Make it something that feels good, warm, has a good vibe to it. Like I said, Etsy has really good stuff. There's a lot of good downtown places to get some good local artwork. Do it right. If you need help, I will help you. And know your area. Like I said, don't do like a beach theme or anything like that. So if we do all of these different steps, make it visually appealing, we hook the guests, we have the functional spaces while they're there, they're going to enjoy their stay, and it's going to be memorable, so they're going to come back. These are going to lead to positive reviews and a good reputation. So like I said, correct design does all these things for you. And that's our goal, right? As investors, as short-term rental investors, as just real estate investors, we are looking for a higher ROI. So higher nightly rates equals higher ROI. So let's talk a little bit about numbers. This is a place we did, like I said earlier, we did this February last year. It was an existing Airbnb. We flew down, it's down in Bradenton, Florida, and the annual revenue at that point was $63,000. After we were done, it took about a week to get done. There wasn't a huge, it was a decent investment putting into it, but nothing like where we had to redo bathrooms or floors or anything like that. It was really just cosmetic, furniture, paint, stuff like that. Annual revenue, over 61% more, over $100,000, guys. That's insane. Like if you had extra 40 grand, what would you do with it? Right? So keep in mind that that is also with new property management. So they knew what they were doing. They knew how to do the higher rates and all that stuff as well. But I think it speaks for itself right there.
You remember the cost? 28,000.
28,000. Is that all in? 28,000.
Furniture, your fee.
Furniture plus my fees plus is that plus the mural.
The mural was only like
1,300. 1,800. Yeah.
yeah, it was 28 all in.
Yeah. New onboarding stuff, all that stuff though too, right? Yeah, all the mattresses were there. So, yeah, about 28. But I mean, that just if you get 40,000 extra, you're still increasing that within a year. So, all right, this is King Street B. So that's where we used to live. That was the dungeon. We turned that into an Airbnb in 2021, and or maybe the end of 2020. And that has been the #1 Colorado Springs Airbnb in the 1-bed, 1-bath division. Basically since then, it brought in $5K. That's just accommodation fare only, so that's not including cleaning fees or anything like that in July. And then I did this one this summer. It's a sky deck container. Really cool. Bob's Containers made it in Texas. They brought it up here. It's so sick. Brought in $8K. And the reason why I'm showing you the both, because this is #1, same space, it's actually bigger. This beat it out because it's so unique. So if you guys can come up with unique stuff, not only in design but amenities, that's what's gonna really pay it off. Like you can still make good money with a good design, but it's about bringing in something new, okay? All right, so how do I get started? This is basically, if you guys have a short-term rental, if you need a refresh, if you are planning on getting a short-term rental, how do you get started? Well, you can do it yourself. That's what I did, and that's how I got involved in doing this with King Street A. Still #1, like still does great. Saves you money and you have full control. Personally, I loved having control. So if you're like me, this is for you. Cons, takes a lot of time, takes a lot of effort. You got a lot of brain power there. Often takes longer because you're usually working a full-time job or you have kids or you're doing other investments. And it doesn't have a professional touch. You don't know exactly what it needs. So yeah, there's that. And then, or you can hire a designer. Obviously, I'm going to say that there's more pros. Yeah, lack of creativity. It just depends on the person. Yeah, that is not great. Maybe that's me, I'm not sure. All right, so hiring a designer, it's not that hard. So pros, you do get back all your other time, so you're gonna be able to put that towards other things, such as other investments or work or family. Relieve stress of having to do it yourself, and making sure that you're getting the right choices like picked out for you. You know the color wheel, you know the right durable furniture, you know all that stuff. Enhancing marketability and maximizing visual appeal. Again, you know a designer, they're a professional for a reason. They are going to heighten that visual appeal for you guys. Understanding an appropriate budget so you don't have to worry about it. This is a big one because a lot of people can go over budget really quick because they don't count the dollars that they're actually spending. They go to TJ Maxx and they spend, $700 on random stuff and they don't even use half of it, or it breaks within a year. So you actually know what you're spending. And attention to details that you may not think of, right? So cons, designer fees, we do have to get paid. And giving up full control of the project. A lot of designers, they do like to take on most of the control. You usually get a few revisions, which is great. But giving up that total control, I like to take on most control. So working with me, you would learn that. But yeah, that is kind of the pros and cons of hiring someone. And so working with a designer, what does it kind of look like? It's basically you get an initial consultation, you get an estimated budget. Does this work for you? Is there like the right fit, because with the designer, you're having a lot of communication with them. So make sure you hire someone that's very good at communicating with you and is understanding the theme or the style that you actually want. Then the contracts are signed. Then within the timely manner, the designer sends over a mood board and you guys go over kind of revisions and all that stuff. Virtual design, it kind of ends there. The designer will send you all the links, the budget, all that stuff, and the client buys everything themselves, installs themselves. So I do that as well. Like I said, I do it in Florida. You can do it anywhere all over the world. So
Do you work with, so if we have folks that want to try,
yeah.
do you commit and talk with them to make sure it has that professional touch?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, like they, well, we can talk after and I can understand that better. Yeah. So that's kind of what virtual design looks like. You get all the links, you buy everything yourself, and you install it yourself. It's great, especially if you already know people who can put up wallpaper or can do a mural, or if you can do it yourself, or if you can even bring it back and just go to photos, or you can get murals off of Society 6, stuff like that. Full service design, this is when a designer actually comes in, does it all, has the team, builds all the furniture, does the murals, does the accent walls, puts in the amenities, works with the subcontractors and the regular contractors, basically just handing you over a turnkey property. So that's kind of the two main design things that we have going on. So conclusion, well-designed short-term rentals equal increased nightly rate, higher occupancy, and higher ROI. So that's what we are all after, and yeah, that is me. So thank you guys so much for coming out, and yeah, thank you. Follow me on Instagram. My website's up here. You can see all my portfolio and all my designs, get ideas from it as well, and feel free to copy it. That's fine too. All right, any questions? You got one.
Yeah, I got a couple if you're okay.
Oh, yeah.
Or you could just tell me you'll answer them afterwards.
Well, shoot one out and let's see.
Average length of time to do a design.
Okay, definitely it depends on the like rooms and how much it's gonna, like if it's a 5-bedroom versus 1-bedroom. 1-bedroom's a lot shorter, right? Are you asking install or are you asking like for a mood board?
From start to finish.
Start to finish.
I call you up and I say I have an Airbnb that looks like crap.
Yeah.
Let's do something new.
Okay, I love that. So it's actually a really good question and something I should have mentioned. When you talk to a designer, always talk to them like right at the beginning of your project. So like Tanner, he talked to me like months ahead of time, which is great because I can put it in my calendar. So usually designers like to know at least 6 weeks out. That way they can put it in their calendar, especially if they're doing install. If you're just doing virtual, you usually only need 2 or 3 weeks. And then virtual, like I said, install doesn't really matter, but finish, I did a 5-bedroom, 4-bath. The install was about 2 weeks. Yeah, so yeah. Like I said, tell the designer about 6 weeks out is usually a good thing to do. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes.
So I'm new to the Colorado market too. Is there any requirement for hiring a licensed interior designer? I know in Michigan where I come from, it is required that they have a license and are permitted to actually do interior design. So I know that's all states. So is that not a requirement here in Colorado?
It is not. No, it is not. You can hire anyone you want here in Colorado. Did you have more questions?
Yeah. I'm more interested in this one.
Okay.
So if you someone calls you up, says my Airbnb is not performing well.
Yeah.
Right? What's the average boost in ROI? Have you ever tracked that?
I have not tracked that. That would be a good question for those gentlemen back there because I've done a lot of their refreshes and everything. And what would you say on average, like how much of an increase would an ROI, or would you not know? After like a refresh, like their Airbnb is like, it just depends, huh? Yeah, and also, it does depend on like reviews and all that stuff, the reputation and everything too. Yeah, definitely.
Average cost?
Average cost on, it depends. it's like, do you want accent walls? An accent wall goes from like $750 to $1,000. It's per wall, yeah. Unless it's just like a simple paint job or something like that. But like it's an actual like wood or a mural or something like that. It's usually about that.
Like, what is the average person?
Yeah.
No, yeah, you're
What does the average person pay?
Gosh. Okay, so like my rates, gotta look over everything again. I'll talk to you after. Yeah, and it just depends. Like I just did one last week. It was that 2-bed, 1-bath. That ended up being just under 13,000, and that was full design. That was with multiple accent walls, full install, full design across the board. Yeah. Yes.
Textured walls.
Textured walls, love them.
What do we do?
Yeah.
Do we keep them? Do we sand the crap out of them? Do we?
How textured are they?
There's not a texture matches in the entire house. They're all different. Some like you could scrape your hand on it.
Is it down here?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know, darker colors tend to do better on those textured walls. I wouldn't spend the money I don't think that would increase your ROI in any way, but I think if you paint some good dark color accent walls, that could help a lot.
You put wallpaper on a textured wall.
Those, I don't know.
Peel, maybe?
Orange peel, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. But don't get the peel and stick. Make sure it's real wallpaper, non-pasted, everything, and then have a wallpaper specialist come in and do it for you. Yeah, of course. Yes.
What is the best bed lining solution? Like some post like all white and some like different for each size, all kinds of stuff.
For bed linens. So we do most of our bed linens all white, no matter what. And then we do our throw pillows, different colors, and we do a throw on the bottom. That's a different color that adds a little pop as well. But always do your bed linens all white, or else one of your guests may think that your bed is dirty, like it just feels a little bit dirtier. So always do all white bed linens.
But what if the house have all kinds of different size already, all white? House to clean is so much.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. Yeah, I know it. We still do it all white. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you, Lexi. That was great. If you guys are doing an Airbnb or thinking about it, it's certainly worth making it look awesome. You'll be happy with how that goes. Lexi does an amazing job. So if that's you and you want to spruce it up, I would certainly recommend getting in touch with her. Thanks for coming out tonight, y'all. This is all here so that we can all learn and grow from each other. So thanks for coming out. Let's keep learning and growing together. The next meetup in 2 weeks, or it might not be 2 weeks, but the second Thursday of February, we're going to have a city planner come out. We're going to talk about development and code, and Johnny Malpaca is his name. He's going to answer any questions you have about zoning or development or ADUs or whatever it might be. So that should be a really good one. Come out to that. And that's all I got. Network, meet somebody new, and thanks for coming out. See you next time.